Hello there. If you're watching today's video, then I'm guessing you want to see an Nzema girl tour Ankasa Forest and Axim for the first time. If you have plans to visit the Western region, then I do encourage you to check out my other videos, the places I've toured in the Western region, so that it'll be easier for you to pick a place. Now let's get into the Ankasa Forest. If you didn't know about Ankasa Forest, that's okay. I didn't know about Ankasa Forest either. But of course, I did a little bit of research and I also learned a lot when I went there. So let me not bore you with so much. It's actually a forest reserve. It has different plants and animal species. Once you go there, you're going to learn a lot from the people there. You're going to learn a lot from the tour guide. And the reason why you should go to the Ankasa Forest is because it's out of town. It's on the road to Elubo. It's very serene. It has a lot of greeneries. It's close to nature. The food is fresh. The tilapia and banku tasted very fresh. They have these cars that take you deep into the forest. I mean, you're close to the forest, so you can go deep into the forest. I'll show you videos of when I went into the forest, right? But you can go deep into the forest, you know. The place is serene, it's out of town. You can go and hide there and nobody will notice you're there, right? So that's one good thing about the place. It's affordable, it's serene, it's close to nature. Every food you get there is fresh. The air is fresh. I mean, you're close to the greenery, so the air is fresh, the environment is fresh, the people are cool. Everything about this place is a 10 out of 10, so you should definitely go to Ankasa Forest. So now, let me just bore you a little bit with the history. History number 1, this forest is about 500 square kilometers. It has a lot of different species of birds and animals. I mean, there are monkeys, elephants, you meet birds, you meet alligator, crocodile, like any animal you can think of. This is their home. This is where they live. And so you're going to be meeting all of them. I even was lucky enough to come across, the skeleton of an elephant. I will show that in a minute. But this is their home. It's well protected. It's well kept. And so when you come there, you just enjoy it. You keep it as it is or you add to it, okay? So, we actually walked into the forest, but I would advise you take the car. So this is the skeleton of an elephant. This is my first time seeing a skeleton of an elephant, and so I was really, really happy to get this exposure. And so if you want to visit Ankasa Forest, it's in the Western region on the road to Elubo. You should make the time to come around here. It's a very nice place and you're going to enjoy your stay. Moving on, Axim. It's one of the historic places in Western region. We are currently at the Axim Beach, and this is the best place to go to if you want to purchase your fish. They have different fishermen. You can purchase any fish that you can think of. If you want to purchase fish, wholesale, retail, this is the best place to come to in the Western region. You are going to get, all your fishes, right? And we actually explored the castle, but before going into the castle, we explored the beach a little bit more. And we came across this island, which is very far away. The history behind this island is going to shock you. I'll tell you about the history in a minute, but let me continue with the beach. Even right at the beach, we had this water division, where there are two waters that are separated. The other one looks like a dirty water and the other one looks like a clean water that are not mixed together. And I found it very fascinating because I don't see that a lot. And so I found it very fascinating. And so I took some videos of that. And so if you decide to come to Axim, that is something that you can look forward to. And so moving on from the beach, I visited the Axim Castle. The name of the Axim Castle is called Fort Sao Antonio. And so if you decide to come to Axim purposely for the castle, that's the name of the castle, you can just come there and explore. It's a very huge castle. Even though part of it has been broken off, it's still a very huge castle. The guard here is very friendly. I don't think they charge too much, and there's a lot to explore at the castle. I'll show you some of the places you can look forward to when you come to the castle, right? The first view is definitely the view from the top of the castle. You get to see the ocean, you get to see the island, you can take really nice pictures, you get to see birds, the skies. It's a really nice view. And the second spot I can show you is this space here, which is the work environment for the slaves at the time. So this was where they were brought down or brought out to work, so this is their work space. Right.
And this is pretty much where he would allow the women to come out of their dungeons, and they would force the women to roam so that the governor can choose who he wanted to rape. Once the governor chose, they would actually bring the woman to this well and make her rinse off. She would go through this door, and mind you, this door was attached to the dungeon. And this is the staircase in the dungeon that led to the governor's room. So after they forced the woman to rinse off and prepare herself to get sexually assaulted, they would go into this room, which is where the governor pretty much stayed. So the governor wasn't the only one allowed to sexually assault these women. It was common for soldiers to do the same thing. Soldiers were known for getting drunk and sexually assaulting these women. So what would happen if they found out that a woman was pregnant while she was at the castles? They would send the woman off somewhere near the castles and make her raise the baby enough to be kind of on its own. But once the baby was at a point where it didn't need to be breastfed, they would send the mother off back into the slave quarters and put her back in a dungeon so that she can wait until another slave ship comes so that she can be shipped off.
We also visited some of the slave rooms. This is where the very stubborn slaves were kept. You can tell it's a very small space, no room for escape, whatever. And we also went into some of the other rooms where the female slaves were kept, where the male slaves were kept, where the pretty slaves were kept, where the ugly slaves were kept, where the strong slaves were kept, where the weak slaves were kept, where the older slaves were kept, and where the younger slaves were kept. So we saw all these different rooms. We also came across this tunnel right here, and this tunnel was actually built in secret because they were transporting some of the slaves to the island I showed earlier, and they were actually not supposed to transport slaves, but they were doing that, so they had to hide it. And so they had this tunnel here, and from this tunnel you can walk through this tunnel all the way to the island, but it's not very safe at the moment because it's been here for a very long time. But that's what they were doing. So they were transporting the slaves to the island using this tunnel. How crazy is that?
Yeah. This was a trade yard. So imagine where we are standing. You could go enter from this place. Yeah. So imagine if all this place was packed. If the staircase and this staircase, the merchant building you saw, were this building.
So Fort Sao Antonio is one of the best places to come if you want to know more about the history of the Axim people and slave and all of that. It's a must-visit castle. It's very huge, and there's a lot to explore here. So definitely make the time to visit Ankasa Hotel. And also, if you come to Axim, don't forget to come to the Fort Sao Antonio, the Axim Beach, and also the Ankasa Forest. So people, this was how an Nzema girl toured Axim and Ankasa Forest in grand style. Thank you for always tuning into my channel, and if you want to see more of my channel, do well to check it out, and I'll definitely keep you updated on what else I do. Take care and goodbye. Mwah.